Every night is the Rangers Journal night.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. You are watching The Lowdown, and my name is Doug. This is the Rangers Journal. I'm going to give you the lowdown on our upcoming opponents, Dundee, who will be playing tomorrow night in the Premiership. It's not been that long since we've talked about Dundee, in fact, so a lot of information here may not be that different if you've been watching the lowdowns up until now, but we'll go through it again. I talk about the unique challenges for this particular match, though, basically from our own side of things. Bring up the teams at current form. Both teams has been a little bit patchy in the run up to this game. Rangers with 2 draws, a win and 1 loss in our preceding 4 matches. The 3-3 draw with Hibs, the excellent 3-0 win to Celtic, and then the disappointing games at Motherwell and St Mirren. Dundee come into this with a draw-win pattern. Wins against St Johnstone and St Mirren, but losses in the Dundee derby to Dundee United and to Ross County in preceding game as well. So also a bit of patchy form for Dundee as they come into this sitting in 8th position in the league. They've played 21, won more than ourselves, won 7, drawn 4 and lost 10. They've got 33 goals for with 37 against, giving them a goal difference of -4. And they're currently sitting there on 25 points. Rangers, of course, sitting in second now with 20 games played. We've won 12, but drawn and lost 4 apiece. We have 37 goals for, which, as it's becoming a pattern, is not too dissimilar to a lot of the teams we're playing against. But our defence does tend to be better. We're sitting there with 16 goals against, so still a healthy 21 goal difference, but should be better in terms of goals scored. And sitting on 40 points in terms of our position in the league at present. In terms of our head-to-head against Dundee, we haven't lost a match in quite a while. We'll touch on it a little bit further and exactly how many games that is. So you can see the last sort of 6 matches there that we've played them at. Almost all but one is a win. We had 1 0-0 draw against them on the 17th of April. But other than that, previous match was a 1-0 win. We've got a 3-0, a 5-2, a 3-1, and a 5-0. So we've had a few high-scoring games against Dundee, which is something that we could use in this to get a bit of confidence built up in the team and to rediscover a bit of that flow. But having said that, even if we were to do that, that would fit in with our sort of pattern at the moment, where we do seem to go from one good game with scoring goals and keeping things at bay to then the opposite, where we struggle a bit more and are drawing or indeed losing games. So really at this point we don't know which Rangers will turn up at this game, and quite potentially we don't know which Dundee will turn up either. In terms of what to expect from Dundee, we've got similar to kind of what we looked at previously. They've still been playing in that kind of 3-4-1-2 formation, but still with flexibility within that. They can play more standard 3-4-3, and they need to do drop one back to have a more sort of balanced 4-4-2 formation with 4 at the back to defend if they need to. They can adapt to games, or at least try to adapt to games that they're playing. But in terms of the actual tactical discipline of their game, in terms of attacking, they do still tend to build up as a direct form of play. We've got strong forwards, one of whom we'll talk about in particular, who's been playing well. And they will look to them direct and also try and get results from set pieces, free kicks, corners, and that kind of thing as well, which is something that we want to look out for. So that has been something that has damaged us. So we lost the equaliser to Hibs from a corner. For a bit of defending there, that kind of thing could be something that Dundee will look to try and exploit with some of their strong forwards. So we need to be wary of that, whoever's playing in defence and marshalling those types of things. When they do play forward, their passing and build-up is not the best. The ball does often come back to them quickly, and we should be looking to try and force turnarounds and hit them on the break when they're not set, and find the spaces with that 3 in the back. 3 in the back systems, well, they can often drop to 4 or 5 at the back, depending on how the systems play. Invariably, we'll always have spaces to be found if we're able to overturn the team, catch them on the hop before the midfielders that would drop normally get the chance to do that. We do have some quick attackers in terms of players like Journey who will run in, be direct, and we should be looking to use that to force these quick overturns in the midfield and break on teams like this with playing with the three, finding the spaces, moving the players around, and getting chances to score. We have done that. With teams, we can find spaces when we're on play. We did that against Hibs. Pushing to the byline and cutting back proved very profitable for Eggman in that match. That's something, again, we could try to do in this one. Exploit the spaces behind the wide midfielders if we can get behind them. And run at the remaining centre backs who will leave space, who will come out to the player pushing to the wing, leaving spaces for the cutbacks. We could try and exploit for goals. Dundee haven't kept a clean sheet in 13 matches now, so I would expect us to score against them. Again, the key will probably be making sure that we get our goals, but stopping them from scoring theirs. As we'll come on to, that will be a difficult task because we are really struggling in the defensive areas, but we should still have the quality to keep the door shut against Dundee. We haven't lost the game to Dundee in the last 15 meetings. You can see there 13 wins and just the 2 draws. So we should be going into this confident and looking to add to that with another one. In terms of Dundee's danger men, well, we talked about Lyle Cameron quite a lot in the previous Dundee Lowdown. So I've included him again. He is still continuing as one of the best players. Strong player in the midfield. Has been linked with Rangers in the January window. So that should be something to look out for. He is a bright player. I did say in that previous Lowdown, he is a player we'd love to see come to Rangers and develop further with us. Oh, excuse me. So hopefully, as I say, he will continue to play well, but not too well in this particular game. But the other man I'm going to highlight now, who's really pushed on since that last match that we played, is Simon Murray. He's currently got 8 goals and 2 assists in the Premiership so far. He's created 14 chances with a 63% pass accuracy. He's not the greatest at passing and moving. Again, that's a way that we can sort of break the teams up. So they do try to move the ball about a bit more in the attacking third. But as I say, their play does tend to be more direct, getting straight to Murray. He was good in the air. He scored goals from a variety of positions, and he can't cause trouble if you'll keep an eye on him. He's got 31 shots with 16 on target, so you can see he's about 50-50 in terms of shots to those that are not necessarily hitting the net, but on target to do so. About 20 battles won from his 32% duels won. He is combative, and he can win himself battles for his team. Once again, I think they'll try to do it, and they'll probably try to be quite rough with whoever they come up with defensively. If it's one of our younger players that ends up playing, so something to look out for from that attack. For Rangers, obviously we're again going to have fielding a shifted team. Butland is still out, so Kelly will continue and go. I would expect Hierty and Gilnas to stay in the fullback positions. Obviously, having played well in those positions. Proper has been cleared to play in this game. They did say during commentary of the Hibernian game that he would miss this match due to having gotten 6 bookings. However, that game was our 20th match, and the 6 bookings rule is wiped upon match 19. And you move into the second half of the season having to get 12 bookings to be suspended. So that suspension does not apply. Proper will need another 6 before he's suspended. So he will be available for that. So that's a big plus. So we were looking at going into this game with potentially no senior centre backs, but obviously Proper has a senior experienced player, former captain. Although he doesn't always have the best of games, it's important, I think, to have him there if we're going to have a younger player beside him. I've chosen to put Enciala in. We obviously haven't really seen him this season other than in the pre-season matches. He is playing games behind closed doors and in the youth games. So this could be the opportunity for him to step up, and I would like to see him step up, see what we're getting from him. Obviously, he came in with a lot of excitement, but we've not really got to see anything of him. I did think that we would see a little bit more, and that he would be maybe pushing a little bit for starting positions, but that hasn't been the case. If it's not him, then it'll probably be King, Leon King, that would come in. He is potentially the natural choice, but I just haven't chosen him because I kind of feel like his Rangers career is over, even if he gets a few games here. He just hasn't been getting picked under the previous manager or this one at any points, be it 4 minutes here or there, or when there's been issues or injuries. So it really seems like his future will be away from Ibrox. So for his sake, I do hope he potentially gets a move at the end of the season, whether that's a loan or a move away from the club. So as I say, I would expect either Inciala or Leon King, probably Leon King, but as I say, I'd quite like to see Inciala starting. We will, however, be suffer from the suspension of I was going to say Rickson, but so obviously not the right player. Raskan. So going back a wee bit there, Raskan is injured, suspended for this game. So we're likely to see Connor Barron coming in to play beside Diomande. Barron obviously a similar player to Raskan, maybe not quite as good. So he should marshal the team and help with that defensive solidity with a younger player behind him. So I'm not too disappointed by that. Raskan, as I say, is a big player for us, and we want to have him in every game. But playing a lower league team, Barron should be comfortable enough to come in and perform in this game. The interesting thing without Raskan, though, she will be chosen as captain for the match. There's not necessarily an outstanding candidate. He could pick Proper or Kelly, because they were captains of their previous teams, both experienced players. So either one of them could be the first choice. I would probably go for Proper myself. He's just got that little bit of extra experience. He should also hopefully be a little bit confident after getting his first goal. Giving him another boost with the captaincy might help to just push him forward a little bit more. In terms of our attacking options, I think they largely are picking themselves. I've got Barami, Hadji, and Cherny fronted by Eggman. Eggman obviously coming fresh off a perfect hat trick. Got to start him again, but can't not. He's really coming into the fore and becoming a shining light in this bit of a dark season. In terms of, we can't even win a game when he's getting that perfect hat trick. So, we want to keep his momentum going, get that train moving, and keep him on the goal scoring pathway. And maybe bring Danilo on later in the game if we want to give him a bit of a rest. But yeah, I think he's obviously making himself, along with Raskin, a first choice pick for the team. And then the others, I think, kind of pick themselves. As I say, there's room for movement and adjustments in there. If he so wants to do, he could bring Danilo in to play in that sort of 10 behind role if he wanted, with Hadji further out or Rami. Either way, but I think, as I say, those players are all sort of playing reasonably well at the moment and should continue to push for those starting lines. And with the defence that we need to get picking up in order to, as I say, stop the goals that we're losing. So finally, in terms of game changer, I've picked Robin Proper as the game changer here. So say potentially captain for the day. He's going to be the senior defender beside whoever comes in as the younger player. So we need to help them, use his experience to sort of help them through the game. Obviously, for someone like King, he does have a bit of experience, but he's not played a huge amount of matches, so he will still need some guidance. So it'll be important that Proper's on top of his game in order to, as I say, help him through that. He's obviously got one goal now, which is sadly the best of our centre backs in terms of goal scoring. 80% tackles, 60% duels won. Aerial duels won, 61%. Recoveries, 45. Almost 1,200 touches. And he has a 90% pass accuracy. He does come out well from the defence. Sometimes Proper, but I'll probably look to see him just settling down and staying back, and, as I say, keeping his centre back partner sort of in line and confident, so that we can hopefully see the game out. So that's that for the slowdown. In terms of prediction for the game, I think conventional wisdom and the previous games would suggest that we should win this match, and should hopefully win it reasonably comfortably by 2 or 3 goals. But we just don't know which Jekyll or Hyde Rangers we're going to get game to game at the moment. We are sort of just lurching back and forth between different types of performances. Dundee is also doing a little bit of the same, so it really depends on which team turns up for both teams, really, as to how this game will go. We need to pick up I said last time we needed to pick up and start winning games and gaining momentum and regularity and consistency. We didn't do that against Hibs, so we need to try and do it against Dundee. Try and get this monkey off our back and as I say, push forward and start building some strings of results rather than this going back and forth. So all the best. Hopefully the team perform well. I'll see you on the journal at both the pre-match and post-matches for this game in terms of adding a little bit more texture to the story with the other guys from the pod. So we'll be on tomorrow, as I say, both pre-match and post-match for your informational content and entertainment. So do join us on the journal for that, and then we'll have more Sportier details on the Friday. It's been Doug. This has been the Lowdown. You've been watching Rangers Journal. Please remember that every night is Rangers Journal night. Goodbye.